Hello, my name is Mike Shandor and I'm the product manager of our Service Plus production facility here at Häfele. The Aluflex door system has been around for over 10 years and we've recently made some changes that have some additional features that I wanted to cover today. So with that, let's get started. This is our old system. It's been around, like I said, for over 10 years. It's got a soft closer that is mounted to the top of the door that moves back and forth. And there is a trigger that gets mounted in the top of the upper guide track, and it's held in place with just this one set screw. So there were concerns that that one set screw could actually move and then the adjustment of your trigger wasn't in the right place. So we've addressed that with a whole new soft closer design that is much more robust to holding the trigger location in place and not having return calls to a customer to try and adjust where that soft closer is stopping the door at. So this is the old system. It's been around for a while. Soft closer gets mounted to the door that moves back and forth. The trigger gets put in the upper guide track and is stationary. The new system works totally different than that. And as you can see, there is a pocket in the upper guide track that the soft closer mechanism gets slid into, as you can see. And the trigger is mounted to the top of the door like this. So no longer do you move this to try and get the door to stop in a particular place. Now the adjustment you make is by loosening this screw and this screw and sliding that soft closer where it needs to be to stop the door in its location. So I'm going to pull it out of the single, kind of show you how easy it is to install into the double. And as you can see, the actuator needs to be in this area of the track. So it's not going to be able to get inserted backwards. So as you can see right here, the interference. So you can't put this in the wrong way. So this gets kind of loaded in your upper guide track. It has to get put in from the side. It cannot be tipped in from underneath. And this needs to be mounted on the door right against the top guide rollers as shown in this picture. So this distance here doesn't change, whereas in the old system you would have to move this wherever it needed to be to get the door to stop in its location. Another key benefit of the new design, remember you used to trim this trigger in different locations depending upon how high the door was adjusted. In the new design you do not have to do that. So you can see on the triggers there are no indications or die lines for where you would need to trim that. This part does not need to be modified regardless of how high or how low you adjust that door for its travel. Okay? So to kind of go through how you would install this, you build your door the way you always would. Top guide rollers, they're mounted right through here. This particular piece gets put on with a torque screw. Yep, I have two of those in place. So this comes off. You can see the end, how it goes in here. You can't put that on backwards. So it doesn't go that way. Underneath. Like that. Okay. So now that this is installed on the door, you will not have to touch this again. This does not need to be adjusted depending upon where the door stops in its soft close position. as you get ready to hang this in the top of the closet or the application that you have, as I mentioned, you need to slide the soft closer into this pocket with the actuator in this bigger space, like in this case in the center flange. Okay, so you can leave it loose when you first install it, because you're going to mount this up here, and then you're going to be able to adjust it to get that door to close right at the side jamb of your closet or application that you have. I think it would be easier to show the ways that we adjust this with the track being upside down, so you can kind of see into the guts of the profile here. So this is the soft closer. It's been pre-tightened using this screw here and this screw here with the Torx wrench. We sell these, or lots of folks have them in their tool bag by now. So this screw gets tightened, this screw gets tightened, and then the door, again, it comes in from the bottom, is right there. And you can see it didn't quite make it to the end of the jamb. So what we're going to need to do is make an adjustment here. So pull the door out. You're going to have to loosen that up. Slide it a little bit closer. Tighten that up. And this time it looks like we might have went just a little bit too far. Again, not that difficult. Take the door out. This time just very small change. Tighten it back up. And you can see it's real flush with the end of the jamb. So again, I guess the key takeaway is you do not need to trim the trigger anymore like you used to with the old design. You do not make any adjustments on the door for where the trigger is. Once the guide roller and the door is put together, this part of the process is completely done. In terms of the soft closer itself, it gets mounted in the end of the track using this profile feature that keeps it tight. And the adjustments in terms of where the door closes are made by loosening this screw with a Torx wrench, and sliding this trigger into place so that when the door does come to a stop, it's exactly where you need it to be. Okay, I think you'll like the features of the new design versus the old one in terms of ease of adjustment and not having the need to trim that trigger depending upon the height of the door in its application. Okay. There is one new feature that I want to share with you, a whole new product in terms of our center door system. We have an article in our catalog now, 403-50-903. This is a new soft closer that wasn't part of our old system, and it's been developed precisely for those center door applications where you would like to be able to soft close that door in either direction, left or right. It might help to see kind of how it looks different. So in the event you ever had one shipped that was incorrect, you can tell how they look different for the single closer in the left or right direction, or the new closer that works in either direction. So as you can see, there's only one actuator on the one that we just reviewed for a left or right soft close. There are two actuators on the center door closer that allow that door to move in either direction and soft close the way that you need it to go for that center door. Okay, I'm going to install that so you can see. This part slides into the track just like it always does. And if you can see there, The actuators are closer to that area where there's more space, so this is the way that it would go. And again, the tightening and the adjustment screws are right here, so right now it's still free to travel. For that center door, as you can see, it will look different. There are two triggers on the top of the door, and they are positioned a certain distance away using this piece right here. This one's been tightened down. So what I'm going to do is tighten the soft closer in the upper track. And looking from down, you can see where this will fit right in between the two actuators. So it's right there in place. So I can push it this way. It's very hard to do. Okay, so now it's been pre-cocked. So if I move it this way, it's moving itself, and it stops right there. I can also move this door this way. Now it's pre-cocked. You can see that it's moving by itself. The adjustments are made the same way as you do for the right or left soft closer, simply by moving the door out of location, loosening these two set screws. You can measure by a pencil mark on your upper track kind of how far you want to move it, and you can see into the track kind of where you're trying to put it. But let's just say that you need to move it 25 millimeters. You would mark it over here. You would then tighten this down, reinsert the door right here, move it to the right, and when you come to the left, it fits in that track, and then it stops right there. You could also check it going the other direction, and it's free. And then it's moving right there. So those are the primary differences in the new soft closers for Aluflex. New system compared to the old. You do not make adjustments to the trigger height by trimming. You will not need to do that with the new system. You do not make any adjustments to the location of the trigger in the upper door, and it's no longer held with just that single set screw that oftentimes customers would have moved based on the speed of the door hitting that trigger. So this trigger will go away. This trigger will be in all of our new systems, and the soft closer slides into a feature in the upper track that makes it easier to adjust and also makes it stay in place much better for high-speed door travel. Thank you for your time.